Hello, folks. Welcome back to Tommy Highway TV Live. I, of course, as always, am your host, Tommy Highway. With me, I have my partner in crime, owner of a huge UFO channel. I have Tim from UFO Man himself. Thank you for stopping by today, Tim. We appreciate that.
You're more than welcome.
And we got together this evening, and after a lot of the things that we've been reading and seeing in the media in the last couple of days, at this point, I'm hopping mad about the fact that they're trying to hang the coronavirus on the president. I think that that's about the most unfair bunch of horse shit I've ever seen in my life. And obviously Tim feels the same way. So we kind of wanted to get together tonight and kind of vent our frustrations on this. And I'm going to go ahead and start with what they've done here is they've taken the coronavirus, which, by the way, doesn't seem to be really killing a whole lot of people that it infects. In fact, I have some stats right here, and it varies by age big time. Let's say if you are anywhere from 10 to the age of 19, less than 0.2% chance that you're actually going to die from coronavirus. And that doesn't change up until you get to 40 to 49, my range, and then it goes to 0.4%. And then it goes up from there. 50 to 59 is 1.3, 60 to 69 is 3.6, and then 70 to 79 is 8, and 80 plus is 14.8. Okay? But if you look at that, you compare that to any other flu that we've ever had, that swine flu that went down about 10 years ago. Remember that? All of that. These numbers are no different. I mean, they're just no different. The only difference is that a lot more people are actually contracting something, which is a respiratory bug. It's akin to, they say, a form of pneumonia.
Right.
But we've actually seen the media, the news media, CNN, they're coming out and they're actually blaming Donald Trump for this. Because, again, politicians like Nancy Pelosi, they were against the travel restrictions that the president placed that stuck out there on China right from the very jump. Okay, he jumped right on that. He restricted travel from certain places within China, and the Democrats jumped on him about it. They did.
Right.
Yeah. And they this is horrible. This is terrible. He's being a racist again. Okay, now they're turning around and saying that he hasn't done enough. Right. What they're doing is they're weaponized this virus to, again, outrage the masses, outrage their constituents, because that's how they control these weak-minded sons of bitches. Pardon my language.
Right.
Tim?
Not a lot to say other than the fact that is the case. In regard, I was reading today about the flu, the regular flu, not the really strong influenza that we all take flu shots for, but the standard flu, okay, the stomach flu, okay? The stomach flu kills far more people than the coronavirus has, ever. Mm-hmm. And no one's batting an eyelid or an eyelash in regards to the flu. But we're going nuts about the coronavirus. Now, I can see taking precautions. I can see doing the right hand washing techniques. I can see wearing masks when you need to. I can see doing that. But staying home and not going to work, or staying home and not going out and enjoying your life, that's up to you. But all I can say is you're taking it out of context because the media is making it seem like it's worse than it is.
Blowing it way out of proportion.
Right. Now, I have to say this. It is better to be prepared than sorry. But then again, you can take it too far. But you got to look. How many people have died in China so far? They say 41. 41 people total in China.
No, there's like 2,800 or something. I've got numbers here. I saw it somewhere. Let me check them out.
Are you sure it's 2,800? I think there's 2,800 infected. 41 that have actually died.
And right now the death toll is 8 so far, according to China. Now you take that for whatever it's worth, because they're secretive. They're so secretive that, in my opinion, we either need to bring them into the world community, or they need to make a decision. They want to be in the world community, or do they want to be outside of it? Because this horse shit of holding this down and not saying anything, and this is the second or third time that they've actually pulled this crap because they're so secretive. Now, when it comes to a global a bug or a germ or a virus that can affect the global population, they need to be forthcoming, or we don't need to be doing any more business with them. Make them rice farmers again. But what I've got here is coronavirus update, and this was just minutes ago. There are 85,206 cases reported, And of that 2,923 deaths are attributed to that.
Is that in China?
That's all together. Well, I mean,
worldwide.
Right, worldwide. That's out of
okay. I think maybe that 41 count was in the U.S.
Yeah, those 41 people. Yeah, that's it.
41 people in the U.S. have been killed by the coronavirus. But if you think about the
no, you just have it. No one's died of it in the United States yet. Those are 41 people that just have it.
Okay, well then I got my information incorrect and I stand corrected. But in regards to, God, I feel really terrible. In regards to the coronavirus, what I want to say about it is this. We did a show on this, about a month ago, Tommy?
Yeah.
And we warned everybody and we told you what to do. You need to wash your hands repetitively. Okay, that doesn't mean be OCD about it, but what it does mean is when you go to the bathroom, wash your hands. When you go to the kitchen and handle food, wash your hands. Make it a practice that you do it all the time. That way you keep your hands clean. If you need to wear gloves, wear gloves. Protect yourself. Take precautions.
Right.
But there's no need to go gung-ho crazy about it.
This is not Ebola. This is not anything like that. This is not hemorrhagic fever. I mean, this isn't even the swine flu at this point. It's really not. I mean, this is not. Sure, it's a big thing, and sure, it's a major epidemic at this point, at least for the Chinese. But it's not the pandemic status yet, I should say. Nor, I mean, it may never even get there. But at this point, what kills me about it is our politicians, instead of coming together for the common good on this, they're actually weaponizing this virus to use against the president, to use against the other political party. I think it's sickening. I think it's un-American. Un-American.
But we all knew it was going to happen because when they lost the impeachment battle and they were made to look really bad, and I have to say they looked really bad.
Yep.
And they still look bad, by the way. They're trying to dig themselves out of the hole by blaming Trump for Corona. Now, most people with an intelligence level or just a regular intelligence level will understand that that's a bunch of BS.
Right.
But Trump's not guilty of starting the coronavirus or making it any worse.
No,
in fact, he's doing everything in his power and in his position to help the people that have corona and to prevent further corona infections in the U.S.
Right.
I mean, when he put on the flight restrictions, and he's even considering to do more. I think I heard tonight he's going to do more with Italy because Italy has such a high reoccurrence rate of the coronavirus. I heard that tonight. So he's thinking about doing flight restrictions to Italy. Now, that doesn't mean that he has ill will toward Italy. No, he does not.
Nope.
He doesn't have ill will toward China either because he just made a big trade deal with China. So there's no way he has ill will toward China. So
he's doing his job.
Yeah, he's doing his job, and the left doesn't want him to have that power.
Right.
It's about control.
I mean, I realized, years ago that when a politician goes up and they get sworn in and they raise their right hand and up here like this, and the other one's on a Bible or whatever their holy book is. Now, when they take that oath for us, for the American people, to protect and serve us. But oftentimes, and we've seen lately, that what do? They're actually more concerned about foreigners in our country illegally. Okay, so I mean, I get that. That's been going on for years, but I never dreamed that these politicians would actually turn around and use scare tactics to weaponize this virus and to scare people, to try to crash the economy, to try to actually cause harm to the country because they didn't get their candidate elected.
They are most definitely trying to crash the economy. In fact, George Soros, I always refer to him as the Nazi that got away. George Soros came out the other day and said that he warned President Trump that if he kept up with what he was doing in regards to the coronavirus, that the economy would crash before Super Tuesday.
Mhm.
George Soros said that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
they're
using the in the news media. See, here's the thing. Here's the problem with the media, and you may or may not agree with this. And I'm about to say a really horrible thing, but the fact of the matter is, the media is in a position where they know, like, let's say CNN, okay?
Right.
Advertisers are still going to buy their product, even if everybody's broke. Advertisers are still going to go to CNN and pay them money to advertise. That's the way it is, even if everybody's broke.
Right.
Okay, so they don't really have a downside. MSNBC, same way. So the only way at this point that I see this is that our media, and I'm all about a free media, but a free media, it's like freedom of speech. Sure, you can say whatever you want. Well, you used to be able to, but you can say whatever you want, but you can't go into a theater and scream fire. Okay, you can't do shit like that. Right? And that's exactly what the media is doing. It's no longer about reporting the story. It's all about opinion. Now, if they want to come out and say, hey, this is an opinion piece, and it's all about our opinion, fine. Then it's a Jerry Springer show. Watch at your leisure. But when these people are actually falsely reporting things and really trying to skew people's opinion against the president and racially and everything else, stir up race problems. I mean, this is what's happening here. So in my opinion, we're going to have to do something, and we're going to have to put some sort of controls in the media. We're going to have to do that. And I know that's sad and sick, and it sounds really awful and un-American, but damn, we can't let them keep running around screaming fire in a theater. We can't do that anymore. It's got to end. Now, how do we end it?
Well, the media is being paid. They're being paid by the government to say what they have to say.
Well, for
the most part, most big media groups are being dictated to, and then what you hear is what is being paid to be said. If that's understandable.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you're hearing what is meant to be said by those who put it in front of the reporters. And those people that put it in front of the reporters are the ones that are paying the politicians to do exactly what they want.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, obviously, the CNN and MSNBC have been used by the Democrat Party ever since Trump was elected as a weapon, as a sword, not a shield against the president. And that's just, shit, that's been going on now for years. And again, but then again, they're also preaching to the same people who let, Adam Schiff get out there and tell him 122 times that he's seen evidence that the president's a Russian agent. That wasn't true. But then during the impeachment, he said that, if Donald Trump is reelected, that he's going to turn around and sell Alaska to the Russians.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, that's on the record, on the friggin' record. I'll tell you what, raise your hand out there if you really think Donald Trump is going to sell Alaska to Russia. I mean, but that's what these politicians are telling these people, and they know their constituents are dumb enough that once they put it in here, that's it. It's done. It's over.
Oh, it's fact.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
set in stone.
Now I'm going to use another analogy here. If you were to go to a UFO channel that posts a video of, say, a light in the sky, and they say to you, "Oh, this is definitely a UFO." There's going to be a group of people that will accept it immediately,
right?
Because it's stuck into their head.
That's it.
That this person is an expert because he has a channel on UFOs, which I happen to have. And because he's saying that a UFO is real, it must be true. That's not necessarily the case. And that applies also to what we're talking about.
Politics. Sure. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's once they get to these people and especially our children. And that's another thing that's real screwed up here is the fact that, well, I just had an experience. I don't want to say where I was working, but I take a seasonal job, let's say in the evenings kind of thing. And as it happens, I worked with a bunch of millennials. Now, half those millennials, they're fine, good people. I'm sure they're going to be fine adults and have good lives. No doubt in my mind about that. The other half were complete wastes I mean, I could not believe how living out of their car and crap like that. I mean, and it's because they're lazy and they're on drugs. And I mean, those are the Sanders supporters right there. Those are the people that'll flock to somebody that'll say, yes, yeah, I'm going to give you all this stuff for free and take care of you and hold you into the government's bosom, and you don't have to worry about anything ever again. I mean, those are the guys that are going to vote for Sanders if they go out and vote at all, if they're not high on meth or something at the time.
What concerns me are the people that aren't the druggies, that are the average common citizen, that are flocking towards Sanders. They're being misled.
Right.
And they need to hear the truth. Now, I'm not going to say that everything that Trump says is the truth. But what I'm going to say to you is you need to look at things with more of a realistic viewpoint. You hear Bernie and he's like, well, I'm going to do this. Right. Sure he is.
Right.
What has he done? I mean, he owns 4 mansions and he has several sports cars. And you're telling me he's going to take all your money and redistribute it to you?
Mm-hmm. Right.
No,
right.
he's not.
Sure.
No, he's not. He's
sure.
going to put it in his. He's going to put it in his pocket and in as much
right
as he can take, just like the Bushes did.
Yeah.
Just like the Clintons did. I mean, how did Hillary Clinton become a multimillionaire on a public servant's salary?
Right, exactly. Look at how did Bernie Sanders make his money? I did a video about him the other night, and it's like when Bernie Sanders has been in Congress, he's never made more than $175,000 a year. He's never made more than that. Yet he owns multiple houses, like you said, all cars, all this other stuff. I mean, give me a break. See, that's the lie of socialism. Socialism only works for the king. And everybody else becomes a subject, because once you adopt socialism, you're not a citizen anymore. You're a subject. And that's a fact, Jack.
Right. At one of his rallies, he was photographed or filmed driving away in a Maserati, a red one.
Really?
Now, Maseratis. They're $100,000.
$100,000
or a couple $100,000. It depends on what model it is. But can you imagine driving to a political rally, driving a Maserati, and telling the people, give us your money and we'll redistribute it?
Or arriving on a private jet and jump out and start screaming about saving the earth. You know what I mean? About the Green New Deal and that kind of crap.
All the jet fuel that he just spewed into the air. Yeah.
I mean, the Hollywood's bad about that crap too. They're all a bunch of damn hypocrites. I mean, they talk about saving the planet, but they won't fly commercial. Really?
Tommy made a point the other day when he did a video in regards to, I think it was his last video, in regards to Bernie Sanders. And he said, you better be pretty darn happy with who he picks for vice president. And I would have to say that's the case, because what if it is, what's her name? Ilhan Omar? What if it's her?
Or she becomes Secretary of State, or she becomes Secretary of State or something.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Then we're going to have Sharia law everywhere.
We're going to have a civil war.
We're going to have a major war. And it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. And Bernie, he's not going to be around long. I mean, health-wise,
dead man walking.
I can speak from experience. I've been around a lot of people that have had health conditions like Bernie Sanders, and it's not good.
Nope.
I wish the man the best in the world, but I don't wish him the presidency, because it'll kill him. It will. Right,
it will, and there's no doubt. I don't think. I mean, I'm surprised he's still walking around at this point. But in like the point that you made there. I mean, anybody that's in their late 70s, they've had stents installed into their heart after a heart attack, they are not going to last very much longer. Statistics show that he might have a year, maybe 2. That's about it at his age. That's all you get. Okay, unless he gets a heart transplant.
Yep.
He's not going to. And Bernie Sanders doesn't look. Look at him. He doesn't look like a healthy person anyway. So, he's probably going to tap. I don't know who's going to tap, but Stacey Abrams or somebody. It'll be something outrageous, I'm sure. So if whoever that person is, that's going to be the president. If Sanders wins.
Yeah, but I have another question for you. What about Biden? Yeah, I kind of think Crazy Joe is trying to make a run for it, and I don't think he has a chance.
I think that the Democrat Party wants him to be their person.
Yeah.
I'm hearing some feedback somewhere. Is your volume up?
Well, I could check, but I don't think so. Let me check. Does that sound better?
No, it's actually coming from me. I don't hear it anymore though.
How about now?
I don't hear it anymore. Good.
Okay, I turned on my mic.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, with lost my train of thought.
We were talking about Biden.
Oh yeah, you have to. I think the Democrats want Biden because that's like their comfort zone. All right. They don't want Sanders because they don't think he can beat Trump, and all of the other Democrats that are down ballot from down that are up for election, they're scared shitless. Okay, because I mean they know that if it's Sanders, they're probably going to lose the House. At least that's what I think they're thinking.
Pelosi said that in a public statement that if Bernie Sanders wins the electorate for a Super Tuesday for the Democrats, that they're going to lose the House.
Yeah.
And they don't want to lose the House.
The thing about Biden, though, as a candidate, is that he's a geriatric old man. And anybody that actually watched the 2012 vice presidential debate between himself and Paul Ryan, I mean, you can't watch that video and reasonably say that Joe Biden has got it all his marbles together, because he doesn't. He was losing his mind then. He was suffering from dementia. In fact, it was so embarrassing that Paul Ryan, like halfway through of it, kind of backed off of him because he was just slugging him, boom, boom, boom. And the thing about what's really horrible about dementia, and a lot of people have known somebody that or have a family member that have actually had it, but it doesn't get better. People don't improve from that state.
No, it gets worse.
And Joe Biden, he's a gaffe master anyway, but he's out there forgetting where he is, talking about he was arrested with Nelson Mandela and just all this crazy stuff. And any woman that supported, in my opinion, that supported the Kavanaugh lynching, okay, any woman that supported that can turn around and support pervert Joe Biden is beneath contempt. Really. Yep. I really think so. And let me tell you something. Anytime that I've ever walked up to a woman and sniffed the back of her hair, I had one thing in mind. And that's why the only time I've ever done that is with someone that I'm involved with. Okay?
Right.
Not women off the street.
Right. It's called monogamy.
Right. Well, yeah. And it's
honor, respect, all the good qualities of a good person.
But they take all that pervert crap, the leftist women, they'll take all that pervert crap, they'll just throw it out the window, just pretend like it didn't happen. Like we haven't all seen the videos of him inappropriately touching females. But that's okay.
That seems to only happen if you're Democrat. If you're Republican now, you're condemned if you breathe in the wrong direction. If you look in the wrong direction, if I'm looking at a girl, oh God, he's committing a moral sin.
Might as well be a sex offender.
Might as well throw me in prison.
Might as well be a sex offender.
Yep. Exactly. That's exactly how it is. And that's how a lot of us feel. A lot of us on the outside feel that way. Now, I'm not Republican, but I am independent. And what I'm going to say is, as an independent, I am very, very angered by the way that the two-party system has corrupted our way of life.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, what happened was, it's a great idea in theory until the government grows to a certain size, which is what happened in our country. And then now it's all nothing but a big political struggle, one party over the other. I mean, there's no bipartisanship anymore. The only time that they have bipartisanship is when they absolutely have to have it, for the public's sake, for the visual of it, let's say. But I mean, at this point, for Nancy Pelosi going out there and ripping up the Trump speech, right behind him and stuff like that kind of crap. I mean,
that was disrespectful. She should have been brought up on charges for that by the Republican Party.
What it told me as a voter, and women can love me or hate me, that's up to them. But what it told me was that's emotional. That was emotional. Right. Now, when I'm going to go vote for a candidate, am I likely to vote for a candidate that I think is going to be emotional? So what she did there, in my opinion, is she set women in politics back decades when she pulled that crap. That's the only thing that you heard.
Do you really want someone like that, say, with the nuclear key?
Right. No thanks.
Because if she gets emotional and she goes, "Oh my God, we're gonna have to blow everything up," and she pushes the button, we're all gone, right? And
It,
that's emotion.
it's just the simple fact of when you have to be able to make decisions without tagging an emotion to it.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to put all women in this basket, but
No,
I'm damn
neither
sure
am I.
I'm damn sure going to put Nancy Pelosi in that basket because that's where she
Right.
belongs. She cannot make
Right.
even the most basic decision without tagging an emotion to it. That makes you a
Right.
bad leader.
Right. Now, I've met many incredible and incredibly talented and intelligent women
Sure.
in my life.
Mhm.
And I'm not classifying any of them in this group, but there are many that are disillusioned and misguided.
Yes.
And that's pretty much all we're trying to get at.
Right. Yeah. And Nancy Pelosi, case in point, right there.
Yeah. She's disillusioned and misguided as well. But because of her power, her need for power and control, and to keep her position where she is,
Right.
she has to assert herself in the way that she is.
And
And
she'll say anything and flip flop on anything. And the Democrat people just continue to let these people get away with this crap.
right.
I mean, at what point does the average Democrat go, wait a second here? You know, you lied to me about a particular subject 122 times. You said you had evidence that the president is an active Russian agent. You said you've seen it with your own two eyes. Show me. And they just don't go there. They just don't want. And I think what it is, and I've covered this on another video, it's that if they actually started asking questions, then they might actually discover the truth. And then that truth would be that they have been lied to and misled for decades by people that they've trusted and supported.
Right, exactly.
And when
then they realize, wait a minute, maybe the other side was telling the truth.
Right, exactly. And that's when a person goes through that transformation, and I've been there. I mean,
and
I grew up,
and they can't do that. They can't do it.
They don't want to do it. It's like you don't want to open the door and face the truth, you know. And that's what it is right there. But a lot of people that like this walk away movement, a lot of people are walking away from the Democrat Party because they're tired of the crap. They're the dividers. Yeah. They're the ones out there attacking people. I mean, my goodness, they want to talk about how violent Trump supporters are. Where the hell's the violence at?
See, where's it at? Somebody told me the other day that I should join the Democratic Party, and I'll tell you why they told me that. They said I should join the Democratic Party to undermine it. to be among the Democrats and to instigate an uprising. But I said, why do that? I really don't want to do that. I said, I don't want to be labeled a sheep by joining the Democratic Party. I really don't.
I just don't want to be counted in that demographic anymore.
Right. I don't want to be part of that demographic either. Now, that doesn't mean that every Democrat is a bad person. No, they're not. And I don't think any Democrat is a bad person. What I think is that what they're being told is wrong. And they're being misled and misguided. That's all I'm trying to say. I think there are good Democrats.
Sure. Well, it's like I was telling the guy that works at the liquor store across the street. I go in there once in a while, you know, on Christmas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like what? 5 minutes ago? No. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You know, at least a couple hours. But anyway, like I was telling him, I didn't know who my neighbors growing up, and even neighbors that I've had in the last 20 years. I didn't know what their political beliefs were, their ideologies. I had no idea, and I partied my ass off with every one of them, and it never came up. But now we've become so politicized, and I blame the left for this because they're the ones doing it. Is that now people hate if they find out you're a Trump supporter, they look at you like you're some kind of a racist or a sexist or a horrible person, and. Right. And again, that's because, like my grandfather used to say, you can convince an idiot of anything. An idiot of anything. Excuse me. And he's right. The old man was right about that.
But you can also lead a horse to water, you know, and if a horse is thirsty enough, that horse will drink of whatever you put in front of it. So that's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
what I'm going to say is, yeah, you can convince an idiot of anything, but I would have to also say you can convince the average daily, day-to-day person of anything as well. You
Well,
can convince anyone of anything. You don't have to be an idiot to be convinced. The thing is that it's easier for idiots to be convinced, and
yeah,
there are quite a few in this country.
yeah.
And I don't know. I would have to say that, yeah, I think that's pretty well said, Tommy.
Well, that it leads us back to the coronavirus, and the whole
Yes,
subject of tonight's live stream,
right,
and it's because they're taking that virus and they're going, ah, look at it, ah, and they're scaring people with it, and the media is
right,
doing that because the more hype they make out of anything, that's more clicks, more people, more eyeballs on their commercials that they're running, and that's how those industries run. And at this point, if we're not going to put some kind of check and balance into an out of control media, I mean, it's just completely out of control.
also more money.
Right, that's the thing. But if we're not gonna put checks and balances into the media at this point, then we're going to have to do something to beef up our libel laws and things like that.
Right.
You go out there and say those things about somebody and you can't back them up, or it's anonymous sources or whatever, but you get your ass in court and you lose a bunch of money. CNN just lost a big chunk of money to that kid with the MAGA hat.
Right.
Just a couple months ago,
Right. Yep.
So anyway, let's talk about one other thing that happened this week, that the shooting at the brewery. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, the one in Milwaukee. Yep.
Right. Now, if you've noticed how that came and went in the same day out of the news cycle, and it's gone. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't made to be a big thing like the other mass shootings.
It doesn't fit the narrative. And it wasn't a white male. It was a black male. Okay. And the guy was using a handgun. So he wasn't using a big, scary AR-15 that people are so afraid of.
Right.
That's why it's not in the news anymore. That's why, like, even the Walmart shooting, that guy, if it's not a white man, they'll take it right out of the news cycle. Now, if it's a white male, they will beat you over the head with it over and over, and there'll be 10 stories about it. I mean, from the same place, but because it didn't fit the narrative, we haven't heard anything else about it now, have we? That thing came and went.
I actually saw it on the news tonight on NBC Nightly News with I can't think of his name.
They run something on it.
Famous black reporter, and
Lester, what's his name?
That's it, Lester Holt. He actually said, yeah, he did a spiel on the shooting in Milwaukee, and he said 5 people killed, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
That's all that was said. And then they went from that. They went, how they segued? They segued from that into Brad Pitt's comment at the whatever awards show that was about Trump, which was a long time ago. Why are they going back to that?
Right.
I always thought, well, that was dumb.
Well, it's just they're looking for people that are perceived as powerful people, like Brad Pitt. These people fall over politicians and all of that. They do that because they will listen to and accept as truth anything that they hear, as long as they're being told something by someone that they deem to be their better. Okay.
Right.
And I said this before. That's why politicians get away with the crap they get away with. These people get elected. They're just like us. They're not gods. Their shit does stink just like ours. Okay?
Right. They're normal people like we are.
Right. But these people, once they become politicians, they're elevated in the minds of the sheep. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, this is the head sheep. Instead of seeing it like, okay, now you work for me as a John Q voter. Okay. Right. They don't see it that way. They become subjects. And some people are just wired to be that way. And unfortunately, we have a lot of those people. And Bernie Sanders loves them.
It's kind of like when you meet an actor. If you've ever gotten the chance to meet an actor or a politician, and I've had both opportunities. I've actually met Ronald Reagan, and I met for an actor. Who did I meet? I met what's his face from Rain Man,
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman. Yes, I met Dustin Hoffman, and to me, he was just an average person.
Right.
When you meet them in person, the mystery and the elevation that we give them dissipates. When you meet a politician in person,
Right.
after you get past the bravado of, hi, here, let me shake your hand, let me hold your baby, that crap, you get to the real person. And the real person is like you and I.
Yeah.
No different. And
Right.
that goes along with actors, actresses, singers, songwriters, all of them. When you meet, say you meet your favorite heartthrob singer, okay? Oh God, I met, I don't know, who would I say? James Taylor. I know that's from my generation. Or I don't know. Who would you say, Tommy?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. Oh, I met Taylor Swift. Oh, she was so cool. I just about cried. Well, let me tell you something. She was a girl just like every other teenage girl out there.
Right.
That went for a dream and she got lucky. Mm-hmm. And because of the luck that she was given by other people and a little bit of talent, she got to where she is. Yeah. And we, the people, made her that way. Yeah. Just like we, the people, make politicians what they are.
Right.
And we give them the power. So if you turn around and walk away from them, you take away their power.
Right.
And exactly. Believe it or not, you remember how people used to tell me, oh, Tim, one person can change the world. And I used to believe that, but I don't know. I kind of question it. I think it's more than one person that can change the world. I think it's everyone can change the world. That's what should be said. Because the more people that join together to actually seek the truth rather than the crap that's fed to you by the media, social media, regular big news media, all of it, okay, including politicians, you will find the truth, and it will just, and I hate to quote a quote, it will set you free. I'm not kidding, it will. Now, in regards to the coronavirus, like Tommy was saying, it has been weaponized. Yeah. It's being used against you. It's not being used against Trump, even though Trump's being blamed for it. It's being used against you, because if Trump gets blamed for it and everybody goes along with that storyline, okay, then Trump doesn't get reelected, right? And we get Bernie Sanders, or we get Joe Biden, or we get, God forbid, Pete Buttigieg, or however you say his name, or one of the other ones. What's your life going to be like then? Are you going to accept socialism? Are you going to, which is, borderline living in poverty, bread lines, gas lines, empty shelves in grocery stores? I mean, look at Venezuela. I mean, come on, give me a break.
You bet.
You have to do your research. You have to know what's going on. And if you don't do your research and you don't know what's going on and you don't vote, you don't have a voice.
And only a fool votes because of a political ad on television or YouTube or whatever. Right. I mean, if that's what you're relying on, as far as how you vet a candidate that you actually want to cast your vote for, that's not the way to do it.
No. You need to do some research. You need to read the paper, watch. Well, you can watch news, but like we said, the news is one-sided for many different channels. I mean, Fox News seems to be leaning a little bit to the right, but the rest of them are leaning to the left.
Oh, God.
So it's kind of like, you kind of have to look to alternative news sources and what they call fake media. I mean, the big news that like NBC and MSNBC and CNN, they all call the fake news that's on the internet.
Mhm.
They do that because they want to discredit the credible news. Because if you don't listen to the credible news that's out there from actual people that have had actual live, how do I say it, actual experience in the area that we're talking about, then you are just relying on word of mouth,
Hearsay.
Yeah, that's it. Hearsay from some guy on the TV. That's
Right.
like saying, you can buy this car for $36. I'll give you this brand new BMW 325i for $36. And then you call the number, and what happens? They tell you, oh, $36? Oh, that's enough to buy the dice in the window.
Right. Well,
I mean, being led.
Right. They put on a political veneer on everything. And they tell these people that, that exactly what they want to hear, because these people have been politicians for decades. They know what they're doing. They know how to manipulate. They're the ultimate manipulators, every single one of them. And it doesn't matter, even Trump. That's what they do. They manipulate. But my goodness, right. At what point does a Democrat become absolutely outraged that their party has gone through so many lengths to destroy the president? Time and time, they've stepped up to the plate and they've struck out. And now they're taking something, the coronavirus, something that is potentially serious, okay, right. A health threat, and they're using that to as again a sword against the president. Instead of, at what point, again, when they put their hand up and they swore on that Bible and they took that oath, what oath did they take? Which one was it? Was it themselves? Was it an oath to the foreigners? It was everything but an oath to the American people, right, the people that actually got elected to and paid by to serve and protect. Damn.
Right. No, the Democrats that are in the House right now are actually out for themselves.
Yes.
They're out to defend themselves. If you look at that group of women that are in the House that all wear white, that are kind of doing it as a way to honor Pelosi, who wears white, her sheep. Right. Well, they're all trying to be anti-Trump.
Yeah, that's it. Because that's again, it's all about outrage, and they have to keep their base constantly outraged about something. And like the Mueller report that failed to do anything. Like you said, the impeachment flopped. Okay. And now it's what else? And like I've said in other videos and predicted, what's the next manufactured outrage going to be? Well, here we go. Coronavirus. Thanks a lot, China. And now they're trying to do everything that they can do with that virus to scare people into thinking that the president's not doing enough to protect them. It's sick. These people are friggin' traitors, man.
Right.
They're traitors. And the thing about it is, we haven't executed a politician in this country in how long? How long has it been? Over a century, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's time that we start holding these people accountable and hold them to a different standard than everyone else, a much higher standard.
Right. If a judge misrepresents themselves, they're removed.
Well, sometimes it depends, but now
it depends on the judge. Yeah,
it used to be the case, like this Roger Stone thing. They came after Roger Stone. Roger Stone is a political prisoner, okay?
Right.
Because so many people have lied to the FBI and got off with nothing. That's you, and that's usually what it is nothing. But they came at him for political reasons, because the Trump derangement syndrome directs these people to put someone in jail because Donald Trump got elected. And that's what it's all about. Now, you got a juror that popped up right after the damn trial and started posting things like, she was clearly biased against Donald Trump, who's, really the one on trial, not necessarily Roger Stone. He's the one sitting there, but it's Trump on trial. Right. And now that right there, under any other circumstances, if there was even an inkling of bias in a jury, an inkling, okay,
they would not be there.
They get a new trial. Right now, boom, they get it. But because it's Roger Stone and because he's a political prisoner, okay, and this judge is anti-Trump, then she's not going to give him the same rights that any other American citizen, no matter what walk of life they're from, no matter what color they are, they'd all get that. If that would have come out for anybody else, boom, new trial like that. But they're not going to do that because of Donald Trump.
Right.
It's not it's about bias, man. They don't give a shit about the rule of law anymore. That's out the window.
It's also about hate.
Yes. Yeah.
They have hated Trump since before he got elected.
Yep.
In 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And that person that came out and said, well, we should start the impeachment now, right after he was elected. How come that never made the huge news?
Yeah, Al Green of Texas, I think.
Yeah, how come that never made the big time Billboard news?
The day of the inauguration, he actually came out and said that. The day of the inauguration, we got to find a way to impeach this guy, to impeach the president. Because that's it. So in other words, he didn't give a rat's ass about our vote. We're the little people. We're the subjects. Who cares who we voted for?
See, for the longest time, I thought about, the Electoral College. I always thought the Electoral College kind of screwed us over as the independent voter.
It kind of does, but it's a necessary evil. And the reason it is it's because of the population center thing. If you wanted to take and that's what the kids don't understand. And they got them pumped up on the Electoral College is racist now. Everything else is racist. So why the hell shouldn't it be, I guess? But the reason we have the Electoral College is that means everybody's vote counts equally. Other words, if you did the popular vote, well, there's a bunch of more people in California and a bunch more people in New York than there are in the middle of the country. So if that's the case and it's popular vote, well, their will is going to win out every single time. So why should the people in the flyover states even bother to vote? And that's why we have the Electoral College. It contains everything, and it means that everybody's vote counts equally, no matter where they live, whether they're rural or downtown LA. But
some states have more pull than others.
Sure, and that's all in how many delegates that you have per state. So in other words, California, you have Texas has 52, I think, or something. I don't quote me on the numbers.
Right.
Smaller states will have a smaller number of people because when we vote, we're voting for electorates, people that are going to go in there and actually vote for our guy. Which that's always seemed a little hinky right there to me personally too, but.
Right.
I mean, it all works out, and usually it works out the way it's supposed to. Now, I'm personally, I don't believe in electronic voting. I don't believe in it.
I don't either. Paper.
Hey, we got somebody on the.
Hi, Mark. Welcome to the chat.
Hi. How are you, Mark?
Welcome to the chat. Nice to see you.
Yeah. So, I mean, and this is, but. Back to the Electoral College or whatever, what they do is they have these buzzwords, and then they'll tell our kids and the weak-minded. And like NRA is a great example of this. As soon as there's a gun thing, NRA. Okay, people that are preaching death to the NRA don't even know what the hell the NRA is. And I bet you, if you were to take a bunch of these millennials and ask them what it stands for, they couldn't tell you. They would have no idea. They just know that it's bad because they've been told it's bad by someone that they think is their better. Someone older than them or a politician.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what we've done here is we have taken our eye off the ball as far as our children's education, this Common Core bullshit. Okay. And we have taken our eye off the ball, and we've actually created a world for them in their minds where a socialist society's paradise. Okay, they tell them all the good things about socialism, but they don't tell them any of the bad stuff at all. Okay, that's how, and they're conditioning our children in our own school systems, and you and I are paying for that shit. Right. I mean, it's ridiculous. There needs to be checks and balances put on all of the stuff. We need to come up with one criteria, and you teach this criteria, or you don't friggin' teach. You do something else with your ass.
Exactly. Getting back to the coronavirus, and I have to say this, the coronavirus came out initially as an infection that happened in China. Then they made the mistake of letting, 500,000 people go on vacation before they put flight restrictions in China against their people leaving the country.
Right.
Those 500,000 people went everywhere.
Right.
That's
No,
how
they ran for the
it's
hills.
spreading. That's how it's spreading. People wonder, well, how is it spreading? Well, that's how it's spreading.
Sure. They ran for the hills at first chance they got, and then they went for it. And even the mayor of Wuhan or whatever it's called, he was quoted as saying, "I don't know where these people went. I have no idea. They just left."
Hi, Donald.
Okay.
How you doing? No, it's not Michael Moore. This is Tommy Highway, and I'm Tim. Nice to meet you.
Hi, guys. But, and it just, again, it's all about power and control. And the weak-minded are very easy to do that with.
Right.
They've never, they don't ask questions. The average Democrat is not going to turn around and say, "Hey, wait a minute, I want to ask you a question." They don't have the chance, because the Democrats and the left don't give them the chance, because that's why they move from one selected manufactured outrage to another, to another, to another. And that's not the coronavirus. Okay. What will it be after the coronavirus? You know what? It'll damn sure be something. That much you can bet your bottom dollar on.
Mark is saying in the chat that the Chinese PMI numbers are dropping rapidly, and it looks like a bloodbath is going to happen.
Yeah.
So the market is really taking a beating. I think the market here in the United States is taking a beating because of false media, but
yeah,
that's just how they want it, though. They want to make it look like Trump is crashing the market.
Right. Right. We've got like just a handful of cases. No Americans have died yet. Not that somebody won't, but again, you guys are just joining us. We went through the numbers here, and what this is doing is it's not even really killing the really young. It's just killing the really old. And we went through, you guys can go back through, later, but we went through this whole thing, and it's just like any other form of pneumonia or any other form of a real serious bronchial flu. It's
right.
killing off the old people that cannot fight it off. Everybody else, most everybody else seems to be able to shake this thing off.
Anybody with an inhibited immune system is at risk.
Right, exactly. Just like always with everything else.
The very old or just the very sick.
Right.
Yeah, and that's like what would happen if you would get the flu, Mark or Donald. If you were to get the flu kills more people in the world today than is being reported.
Right.
But we don't bet an eye at that. But then coronavirus kills, you said how many, Tommy? It was like 2,800 in China?
Let me see the figures.
But still.
The figures as of when we started this stream where these are worldwide cases. We're talking 85,200. 85,206 cases. And of that reported, and again, this is as of an hour ago, there were reported 2,923 deaths.
23 worldwide.
Worldwide.
Considering there are billions of people, that's like a negligible percentage, although it is a risk. And I'm not downplaying the fact that it's a risk. What I'm saying to you is it's being the media is overreacting to scare the public.
Right. For political reasons.
And for money.
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah. This is just, it's insane. And again, like we were saying earlier, the fact that our politicians, the people that get up there, put their hand on the Bible, raise their hand, that are supposed to be taking an oath to serve and protect the American people. Okay.
Right.
Well, they're not doing that. They're using every tool that they can have, every tool at their disposal to outrage the people, because again, that's how they keep these people, under control. Outrage to outrage to outrage.
Right.
You'd think that these people would get like some kind of a sickness or something from the hamster wheel that they're running in, but my God.
Right. All I know is they are weaponizing the coronavirus. They're using it as a way to control Donald, and to control Mark Denver, and to control me, and to control Tommy. They're trying to control us because, like Tommy said before, it's being used as a weapon against Trump. It's being made to look like it's against Trump, but it's really against us.
Right.
Because if they can manipulate the system in such a way by using the coronavirus to make us change our minds on what we think about things and what's actually happening within the realm of today's news, then they have done their job.
Right.
By the way, Tommy, Mark says he loves the beret.
Oh, thanks.
You should see his Willy Wonka hat.
I used to work someplace. I don't want to say where, but I work for a place that's only open during the season. It's a seasonal thing. It's a costume place. And at the end of the year, we get this huge discount. Like, it's like 80% off or something. So I bought a bunch of hats. I'm the hat guy now. Wait till you see my inspector hat. That's my favorite. But yeah, I mean, back to the subject at hand. I mean, it's just the bottom line here is that we're being snookered. The people in the media and the politicians don't give a shit about the American people. All they want is world order. They just want their candidate to win. They want Donald Trump gone because he's upturning the apple cart here. Right. Okay. And they will say anything that they can to accomplish that. And like Tim and I were saying earlier, because in the minds of the weak-minded, once you put a thought in there, once you put an idea in there, that's in there. It's set in stone. There's no getting rid of it. And there's still people. I know people that think that president's a goddamn Russian. I know people like that. I mean,
yep. I know people that believe that Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi and all the Democrats are actually buddy-buddy, and that they're talking about everything that's going on behind the news before they actually come on stage and talk to us as people.
Oh, sure. I'm sure Adam Schiff has definitely manipulated the media. I'm sure that it was like, okay, this is what's really going on, but this is what I need you to say. I can absolutely believe that.
No, I believe Adam Schiff is doing that.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
In regards to Pelosi being a friend of Trump's, that's kind of far-fetched.
Yeah, she's praying. The only thing she's praying for him to have is nut cancer. I'm sorry. I'm not going for that. I'm praying for bullshit, lady. Come on. What are we, stupid? Come on.
Stupid. We're not stupid. No, Nancy Pelosi needs to go to the nursing home and take her provision.
Yeah, big time. It's know when to say when. And that's another thing that we need to really, I mean, these politicians, they get elected in these districts that will continuously elect them decade after decade after decade.
A name recollection, because a lot of people here will vote for, say, we have Mayor Canfield. I think Mayor Canfield in our city has been reelected at least 5 times. And I think the reason why is because a lot of the older people recognize his name. So what do? They constantly vote for him because, hey, I remember Canfield. Let's vote for Canfield. That's what it is, name recollection.
Mm-hmm. And that enables them to do all kinds of things. Number one, take all kinds of graft, because you can't make $175,000 a year in this country and be a multimillionaire in 3 years. You can't do that. I don't care who your broker is. It ain't going to happen unless you strike oil in the back fucking yard. That's not going to happen for you. And you look at
with you, Mark,
and you've got, oh, absolutely. Oh my God. But and you get AOC, that dimwit. I mean, my God, that's the kind of, I don't even want to say. I was getting ready to let something slip here, but let's just say that it's the idiots like that. People, she has no concept of anything. She's not a smart female, and anybody that listens to the things that she says and comments on can actually understand that. I mean, it is what it is. There are smart women and there are really stupid women, and she's one of the really stupid ones.
She tore up the sodas or the speech, when she tore up the speech after the presidential address.
Right.
More the actions of like a 3 or a 4-year-old. Oh, I don't like my drawing. I'm just going to tear it in half. Well, that's like a child.
Yeah, it's emotional. It shows emotional.
Adults do not act like that.
Right. You can so you can't. So in other words, you're a female politician, and you've been in your role in government now for several decades. What, 2 or 3 decades? At least 25 years, I think she's been in there.
Right.
And you mean to tell me that you can't hold your fudge long enough not to make the entire country look bad by pulling that horse shit on worldwide television? I mean, come on. The bitch needs to go. That's time for her to go.
Right. What I think is that every political leader that is elected needs a term limit.
Yeah.
And it needs to be endorsed and maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that people have to make sure that they honor that term. Secondly, there needs to be a salary cap, because there is no way that a public servant should be making millions and millions of dollars. As a servant. How did Hillary Clinton become a multi-millionaire?
How do you turn $150,000 to $175,000 a year after you're living on that money too? How do you turn that into millions of dollars in just a couple of years? How the hell do they do that? And here's the thing, like to Tim's point, they're not being audited. They are not being audited one iota. And you would think the people in the government that are making decisions and talking to these lobbyists, hell, they're the first ones that we should have a bug up their ass. But we don't. And that's the problem. We don't audit them in any way, and they can go out and they can just make all this graph, and we have to walk around and act like we don't see it. And that's exactly what we do.
I have a question about that. If that's the case, why? All right. It must be only a select few that get by with no oversight, because when it comes to Republicans or Donald Trump,
they want to know where every dime went.
You can breathe the wrong direction and there's oversight. So what I'm saying to you is we need a fair and equal dual system or multi-system, because we don't just have 2 parties. There are several other parties. It's the Nationalist Party and the Independent Party, and if I remember correctly, the Marijuana Party, but there are other parties. So maybe we just need a fairer, more equal system, something that works.
Oversight.
Maybe rearrange our system and have a little bit of oversight.
Yeah. I mean,
who looked at, all right, for instance, a lot of people are upset with police officers because there's no oversight for the police. I mean, who's in charge of the police? Nobody.
Well, right.
Really,
I mean,
the judicial system,
right?
Federal judicial system, but they're arming the police to make them like soldiers. So personally, they're not really helping. But in regards to who looks over a politician,
who vets them?
Yeah,
There needs to be a standardized vetting process. I've heard this theory before. Yep, absolutely, I agree with that. And again, audit every dime. When they go to take $25 out of the goddamn green machine or whatever their ATM of choice is, okay? When they go there, somebody ought to know that happened. When they put 25 cents into that account, somebody ought to know that happened. All right? Somebody ought to be looking at that. That's how you keep them honest. Because they're obvious. AOC's a rich woman now, and she was like her first or second year, and now she's almost a multimillionaire. Come on.
How about those trillions of dollars that went missing?
Oh, dude, that happens all the time.
Yeah, I know, but where did it go?
Right, and again,
where's the oversight in that?
That's the lack of oversight, and that's why we have shit like that happen.
Wasn't it recently that it was said that the money that was necessary to pay for the impeachment against Trump was taken from Social Security?
I have read that in a couple of stories, but it's not a huge thing, and I got to believe that that were the case, that Fox News would have plastered that on the front page.
Not necessarily, because they use Social Security as a coffer all the time, and I know this for a fact.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they've been trying to close down Social Security all the time, but they won't. And the reason they won't is because they launder money through Social Security.
Sure.
They do that so they can use it for things such as the impeachment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you wonder why seniors aren't getting their fair share. It's because of that. Yes, it's a slush fund, Mark. You're right.
Yep, you're right. Yes, sir.
Congressmen who commit sexual misconduct for legal pays paid for American people. Yep, you are correct.
Yeah, bingo.
100%.
Bingo.
You hit it right on the head. You should be up here, Mark. You should
Yeah.
be on the panel.
Sure. But anyway, but it's all designed, again, it's all about control. I'm really concerned personally about what they've done to our kids. I mean, listen, my generation, which is I graduated in 89. So not exactly Generation X, maybe on the way upper end of that scale or something like that. But my point being is that my generation, we had our problems and we were little assholes sometimes and all that. But there's a couple of things about my generation right now I can tell you. I never thought for one moment, in fact, it never entered my mind that my generation wouldn't actually defend this country if attacked, much less couldn't. I mean, these kids are weak. They're little pansies. We've given them their safe spaces and shit like that. I mean, we've given them things that and coddled them so much that it's made them lesser human beings. And again, I mean, I've worked with some millennials here recently, and half of them, they're literally not worth a bullet to shoot them. Seriously, they're not worth that much, And
Right.
And that's just more and more and more. And we're cranking these people out, and they're going to go out and vote for Sanders because then they're going to get something for free. Dumbasses.
I can honestly say this. I used to be for the idea that people, when they leave high school, should serve 2 years in an armed force.
Yep.
Whether it be the Air Force, the National Guard, the Reserve,
Coast Guard, whatever.
Yeah, anything, because it will make a different person out of you.
Right.
It will test your limits. It will teach you about life, and you will know what the system is and how it operates.
Sure.
Now, I joined the Army. I was in the Army for a while. So I know what I'm talking about. I am an Army veteran. So I can honestly say that I've been there. But what I'm going to say is kids nowadays just don't understand what sacrifice even soldiers are making for this country. I mean, yes, they're doing exactly what they're told, but that's their job.
Right.
They're representing America.
And they're the ones that lay their life on the line for that cause.
Their lives on the line. Yes, I did the same thing when I joined, because the risk you take when you join is to give your life. But you're not giving your life for yourself. You're giving your life for everyone
Something
else.
bigger than yourself, the greater good.
Right.
The greater good.
Which is what politicians should be doing.
Right.
For us.
They take an oath that says that they will do this shit. That's what's so pathetic about it. They get up there, they put their hand on the Bible, they raise up their right hand, and they take an oath to defend and serve the people of the United States of America. They turn right around and stick their nose up the illegal aliens' asses. Now, this is what they do.
Yeah, why in the heck are they? See, I still don't understand why they're pushing the idea of giving illegal aliens the right to vote, and then giving them the right of citizens. All of it.
They want that vote.
They
want the vote.
Yeah, but they want to give them a driver's license too.
Yeah, but it's all part of one big scheme. See, if you think about it, when you think about the average American couple, they're going to have 2.5 children. We've been doing this for hundreds of years, about 2.5 kids. Okay. But Hispanic families, they have 6.5 children, and those are real numbers, and they know that, and that's why they want to bring them into this country, because then they turn around. It's the long con, is what it is. It's a long con. They're waiting on those, even if they can't get citizenship for the parents. Boy, those kids are going to be citizens, though, aren't they? Then they're going to have their vote, and that's exactly what this thing has been all about. They don't give a damn about Pepe the peasant and his plight and his family. They don't give a shit about that. It's not about him. It's about that vote. Again, like we've been saying from forever, it's all about the power, money, control, and power. That's all they give a shit about.
Right. Right. Oh, I hear you, Mark. I'm with you on that too.
Yeah, I'll go there.
I'll go there too.
I'll raise a periscope up under that one.
Yeah, I'll go there more than once. Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. In regards to the 2 years in the military, I didn't think that was too long of service. It really isn't.
No.
You can either re-up, which is re-enlist, or you can leave. But if you leave with an honorable discharge, which means you're an honorable citizen. It has already been written down by the federal government that you did an honorable service, which is more than I can say for Nancy Pelosi and several different Democrats right at the moment.
Right. Not even the ones that lied about being in Vietnam.
There are some Republicans that I'm very upset with too.
Sure.
I think Romney is one of them.
Oh God, yeah, that's don't even get me started on him. Jesus.
Yeah, sorry, just had to bring it up.
that's for another time. That's from when I start drinking.
I agree.
But the coronavirus. Let's get back to our subject.
Yeah, off.
It's like we said that the coronavirus. It's probably not going to kill a lot of people in this country. It's going to kill just about the same proportionate amount of the way it's looking as regular flus and things of the past. And it's not even hitting swine flu yet. So, let's not get carried away.
They're actually talking about having a vaccine already for the coronavirus in the United States within the next 6 months to a year.
Mm-hmm.
So say in a year, we'll have a vaccine. Then everybody gets vaccinated, develops antibodies, and then we'll be protected, hopefully.
I just have the feeling that this thing is going to peter out.
I'm hoping that's the case, because didn't they just find that dog?
Yeah, they found a dog, but there are all kinds of diseases we can pass back and forth to our pets. I mean, that's not like a new thing.
And then they also found that one lady that
I can't figure out.
She caught the virus, but she wasn't exposed to anyone that had it.
Mm-hmm.
So either that means the disease has become airborne, or she touched something that someone else had, But I'm going to spread one bit of advice to the millennials out there that are buying things online off of a website called Wish. Wish has a warehouse in Wuhan province.
Wow.
In China. Okay. That's where the majority of the products come from.
Oh,
that's
my goodness.
Exactly where the coronavirus started. Don't buy from Wish. I hope I don't get in trouble with Wish, but seriously, suspend your buying from Wish for a while, because you don't want to have indirect contact with anything from Wuhan.
I mean, yeah, especially something that's being shipped overnight or shipped quickly or whatever. If something it's in and I heard this question posed to a CDC doctor, and he said that anything that's been like in a container, on a ship or whatever, no problem. But if you're getting something overnighted to you or 72 hours or whatever, that may be a problem.
Mark, I wouldn't worry about your dog. Your dog's going to be fine. It's not that. It's just they found it in a dog, and they were wondering whether animals could carry it and spread it to humans. That's all they're wondering. They're not worried about, there's not going to be any mass quarantining of pets. You don't have to worry about that. That's not indicated in any news at this point.
This thing it's just not a mass killer. It's just not. And it's been suggested that this could even be a biological weapon. And that may be, but if that's the case, it's an awful bad one. Because again, it's not
who released it.
Right. I mean, the Chinese, I mean, there's been theories that there's a biocontaminant place right there in Wuhan, apparently, or nearby, just within miles. They think it may have escaped from there. That's one of the theories, but who knows?
Nobody.
And the Chinese it's not like they're going to level with this. It's not like they come out and say, "Oh, okay, well, we screwed up." They're not going to do that. I mean, time after time after time, they keep this kind of shit, clammed up until it's too late. It's like, we don't have a problem. We don't have a problem. We don't have a problem. Oh, we got a problem. And that's how the Chinese do business. And that's why we need to start thinking about, if this hasn't taught our country one thing, it should teach us this. We are too damn dependent upon China. Okay?
Right, exactly.
We just are too dependent. Yeah.
Or any country.
Yeah. I mean, we got
self-serving.
We got rare earth mines and stuff here. We can pull off whatever we need to pull off here. But again, like I said in the beginning of the broadcast, if the Chinese are not going to start acting like they're part of the goddamn civilized planet of the human species and actually come forward out of their secretive bullshit and tell us when something like this happens. Okay, come up and be upfront with it. If they're not going to do that, we need to isolate China. And I mean, as a world, as a planet, we just need to say, you know what? Eat all the bat soup you want. Do whatever you want to do. Since you're not going to level with us when shit hits the fan, we got nothing. We got nothing for you.
Right. Tom Cotton.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
It was a bioweapon from China.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard that it escaped from that bioweapons lab. I heard it was an accident, I heard. But then again, how do you know if it's an accident?
Right. Well, I mean,
it may have been released to test it.
Well,
how do you test it? You release it.
Right? Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I'm saying, Mark. That's it right there. I mean, you know, it's time for them to pull their big girl panties up, and when they have a problem, come out and tell us that they got a damn problem. It's secretive crap and worry about their national image and all that bullshit. That doesn't mean crap when you have an epidemic. Throw that crap out the window, and they're not doing that. And you know and I hope that the Trump administration is putting pressure on them to get them to make them understand how badly they've completely. Not only did they screw the pooch, but they bought the pooch a corsage. They met the pooch's parents. They took it to dinner. They rented the pooch a limo, took it to prom, and then they nailed it shut. Yeah, okay, that's what they've done here.
They pretty much did that all, and then they married the pooch.
Yeah, absolutely. Knocked it up.
Yep.
Knocked it up and left town.
Knocked it up, left town, and then got divorced, and
you know, she's living in a trailer in Mississippi now. I heard.
Yeah, with Mark. No, I'm sorry, Mark. Anyways,
yeah, that's true. They are. I've read that as well. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those test animals are also carrying the virus.
Sure.
Think about it. If that dog is, then the test animals are.
Yeah, I mean, it can really.
There you go.
Well, it's like the common cold, that kind of thing. I mean, that's if your animal has a cold, it can transmit that to you as the owner. I mean, if you get a cat, dog, whatever. We've always known that. There are also certain other diseases that, you know, the plague and other things that you can actually get from your pet, you know, in certain scenarios. But just because they found it in one dog, I mean,
nah, you know what I'm concerned about is the amount of food that we buy from China. Okay, the amount of food we import in. Can that food be carrying the virus?
That's a great question.
If it is carrying the virus, should we put a restriction on the amount of food that we import? Because we have food here that we export to other countries. Instead of exporting it, why don't we use it to feed our own people and then turn around and put restrictions on China? That's what I think.
$1 million worth of biolab animals. And you know that went on a plate somewhere in China. You know it did. And that's probably part of an egg roll right now.
Yeah. You know, and it might even be an egg roll at your local China in
who knows,
wherever you live.
You know, it's like I used to see when I lived in Florida. I used to see armadillos. They'd run around the yard or whatever. And you know, I had this I think it was Korean neighbor, and he was always talking about, oh man, I'd love to eat one of those. I'd love to eat. And I'm looking at this guy like, what in the hell part of an armadillo looks appetizing to you? I mean, I don't. You know, it's an animal that carries plague, but you want to actually eat one? You sick bastard! I mean, I'm sorry, but damn.
Well, considering that coronavirus was supposed to have started from bat soup,
right?
What does that tell you?
You know, if you have to eat bat soup, you know, buy some fucking ramen or something. I mean, there's other things. Make a cheeseburger. You don't have to eat bat soup. You eat bat soup or in something exotic like that because you want to. And there's the problem right there. Why a person would want to put a hairy ass bat in a bowl and eat soup? No. And I like sushi, but damn, that's as far as I'm going.
Actually,
it is
our coronavirus update video that was a few back. If you go to Tommy's channel, which is Tommy Highway TV on YouTube, you can see the bat suit because
Mhm.
we actually put a video clip up of the bat suit. So it is on there.
Yeah, it's our last live stream, the coronavirus stream.
It's really, really not appetizing at all.
No, hell no. But it's like let's eat it. What are you thinking? And that's they have to change as a culture. They're going to have to knock that crap off. I mean, if you're eating something more exotic than alligator, eat something else. I mean, my goodness.
Yes. But I understand that sometimes people have to eat different forms of meat because of rarity of certain types
Right.
of protein. But in the case of the bat, that's kind of taking it a little too far, in my opinion. But then again, I'm not from that culture, so I can't really put myself there.
That
So
girl,
I
that girl that was eating it wasn't starving to death. She ordered that shit. I mean, she specifically ordered that.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason behind it is. I mean, I've seen people eat deep fried tarantulas too, and I understand why they're doing that because the tarantulas are plentiful where they live, and that's a form of protein. But in regards to the bat, that's kind of like crazy.
No, none for me, thanks.
I think you'd have to be bat blank crazy.
I mean, what kind of wine do you serve with bat, man? I mean, think about that. Is it like a white wine, or what are we talking about here? Is it more of a chicken? Is it a red meat? I don't want to know.
I think if it's bat, you're going to be drinking a dark wine, maybe Merlot.
A nice Mad Dog 2020 vintage this summer.
Yeah, there you go, Mad Dog. That's it.
Well, listen, you think we better wrap it up? We've been on for almost 90.
Yeah, we've done pretty good. We've covered almost everything.
Yeah, and listen, Mark and who's the other gentleman? Don, I believe. Thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it. And check out my channel. It's Tommy Highway TV. Also check out Tim's channel. It's UFO Man. And we're gonna start doing this a lot more often. I think we finally got the kinks worked out of it tonight. Think about it. We didn't have a major failure at all, so we're good.
Yeah, we had a really good live stream, and I want to say thank you, Mark, for coming. It was really good to see you here. Yeah, I don't want to see that right now. But anyway, Anyways, it was good to see you here, Mark, and it was good to see you here too, Don. It was very nice that you came to the chat. Yeah. And hopefully Tommy's channel will take off and we'll have more and more people coming to the live streams.
Yeah, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button on my channel. That would really help me out a lot. I'd appreciate it.
And if you can, please visit his book channel. He wrote a couple books. One of them is called Get Trump, which is a very intriguing book about the political nature of our times. And it's at https://www.tommyhighway.com.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, so we are out of here, and good night, everybody, and see you next time.
Peace out.
Thanks for coming. Peace.